So let's stay on Cal Raleigh for a second before we move on. I was starting to think about this after the Wednesday game against the Yankees. So the Mariners win 4 of 6 against the Yankees. They win 2 of 3 in New York. They win 2 of 3 at home. Cal Raleigh's a pretty big part of all of it. I mean, you can look at some of the numbers, and he hasn't been great the last couple of weeks, but defensively, you see him gun down runners. You see him block balls in the dirt. And you do see him with good plate appearance. I mean, he's still striking out a little more than you'd want him to, but he'll draw a walk. He hits the ball in the gap. The power's there. Like, you see the growth of Cal Raleigh. I wonder if, and I haven't really done a whole lot of research on this, Joe, but just my gut tells me he's one of the more underrated players in Major League Baseball right now, considering value over just gaudy numbers. I mean, think about what he's brought to the table this year that we really didn't expect. Maybe the team did. I certainly didn't. I don't know that you did, but he's been that good and that valuable to this baseball team.
Dude, it is so hard to find a catcher that can contribute in every facet of the game. When was the last time Seattle had a catcher that could not only defend and hit behind the plate?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Zunino's run.
I don't even know if I mean, there was a June where he could hit. I mean, I would think I would go almost all the way back to like Kenji Jojima. Like, I would go back that far for a guy that actually can do it both. Like, Narvaez was a great hitter. He was horrible behind the plate when he was in Seattle.
Right.
Miguel Olivo actually had a couple of good years in Seattle, and maybe you go to that, but I think it's like Jojima in 2007. I think it's been 15 years.
I still look at that 2017 Zunino season where he popped a 125 WRC plus. Like, what was he? 250, 330, 510 with 25 bombs.
Yeah, that's a good year.
That's a good one. But you're right. Other than that, Zunino had he had a good 3 weeks here. He had a good 2 weeks here, but he was hitting 189 and 207 with minimal power. Yeah.
And this is why during the offseason, going into this year, everyone was saying, why doesn't the team go sign JT Realmuto? Or why don't they go trade for Carson Kelly? Or, go get exorbitant value behind the plate because, it's really hard to find. Well, that's exactly what Cal Raleigh has provided. He is I would go as far as to say he has been a top 8 catcher, top 6 to 8 catcher in baseball. Maybe you could make a case for top 5. I genuinely think. And having that is just such a luxury in the game. And I know, skeptics will say he's batting 202, he's batting 203. No, I mean, he's gunning down runners. He's blocking balls in the dirt. He's framing pitches. He's hitting for power. He's not striking out at an absurd clip. I mean, he's been really valuable and timely home runs too.
Yeah, he's got that strikeout rate under 30, and it started out really bad. So we're talking about like the first 3 weeks, it was like 38%, and now he's got that under 30. 207, 276, 458, entering the weekend series with a 110 WRC plus. Obviously, his defense is at very worst solid average, but the metrics really, really like him. I know it's a relatively small sample of essentially a half season or slightly more, but he's I think of Jonah Heim in Texas as well, another very underrated player who is putting up good offensive numbers but is kind of secretly doing a lot of things defensively that is pushing tons of value to the Rangers. That's just Cal Raleigh. Hey, it's Jason Churchill. To get the full episode, as well as every other episode of the podcast, past and future, subscribe for as little as $5 per month by going to bit.ly/getthepod. That's bit.ly/getthepod, all one word. A link you can also find on my Twitter profile. Hey, thanks for checking out Baseball Things.